Hello, livestock friends, and welcome to this edition of Before the Bid. This is a podcast dedicated to the livestock sales industry where we go behind the scenes of the operation and speak straight to the sellers. We discuss topics about the important aspects of their operation, location, the people behind the prep work, and talk about some of the animals that will be offered to you, the prospective buyers. Hopefully, you've got your sale catalog close by. You might have to go look through that pile on your desk, but if not, then you're probably like me and driving down the road or busy with chores around the farm. And that's okay too. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you enjoy this segment of Before the Bid. I'm your host, Andy Howell. Welcome, livestock friends, to this edition of Before the Bid. And always on Before the Bid, we like to do new things and bring in new people and have new adventures, I guess you could call them. And with this podcast, we're going to Pennsylvania, which we haven't been to Pennsylvania before. Another thing, we've had a couple people on here at a time. I had two friends on here. I had a father-daughter combination on here one time, and this time I have twin sisters that are going to join us here on the podcast. As I said, we're going to Pennsylvania, and we are going to talk cattle on this. They have a Bred Heifer sale, and it is going to be on SC Online Sales on December 7th. On this podcast, we are talking to young ladies that I'm sure most of you out east would know as the Weimer Twins. And we are talking with Lynn and Lacie Weimer. And so excited about this podcast to talk to these young ladies. They have two operations that have come together. They got apart a little bit. I'll let them tell you a little bit, but got apart a little bit, came back together, and now they are having the dual force Bred Heifer sale on December 7th on SC Online Sales. And so, ladies, I want to welcome you to the podcast, and I look forward to having a lot of fun with you two and learning a lot and talking about some great heifers.
Likewise, we're happy to join you as well. I think Lynn will help you walk through the cattle, and Lacie can give you a little background.
All right. Well, that sounds great. So, yeah, why don't we start out there a little bit of history? You guys grew up with the cattle, and you did some other things while you were younger in 4-H, and kind of got into everything. And like I said, I'm sure when you guys showed up to the show, they were like, "Oh my gosh, there's those Weimer twins again to beat on us."
Yeah, maybe so. Might have came across that way. We sure have been inseparable. So leading back in time, we grew up on a family farm in western Pennsylvania, and Lynn married into the K&K, fifth generation cattle farm here in Heinemann. And I stayed back and still ran a cattle operation with my father. And that was in New Alexandria, Pennsylvania. In the midst of those 10 years, we still worked together operating a business that we called Identical Genetics, where we ultrasounded cattle for their carcass traits. Mm-hmm. And so we would be constantly on the road traveling to do that, and then trying to operate our cattle in two different locations, and then starting families and trying to raise children 2 hours apart. So my husband, Kevin, and I decided that we need to be closer. Faithfully, we found a place 1 mile from Lynn and Chris's driveway, and we were able to buy 150 acres in between the driveways and start up what we like to be rebranded as dual force. Mm-hmm. So say in a lot of our advertisements, you'll see that dual force is a kid plus a calf. So there's a lot of different ways of looking at that. It's our two families brought back together to raise good cattle, but it's also pairing youth with the livestock industry, or also with the calf, because it has so much to offer.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Our motto here is we just want to raise good humans.
Right.
And I think that's a goal that everybody needs to have, is just to raise good humans. And we strongly feel that can be done in the barn. I don't think we have a lot of kitchen table talks anymore because families are so busy and there's so much hustle and bustle. But we tend to have those talks in the barn whenever our kids are working their cattle or their horses or what have you. It just creates respectful, hardworking kids. And the bottom line is that's our biggest success in raising these critters, is getting them in the hands of kids and being able to watch them be successful.
I think that's great, and we've had some guests before that do that, and the youth, getting them into those hands is very positive, and yeah, use the livestock to build those youth, right?
Right, exactly.
I've got another question. How do you luck into finding that many acres from driveway to driveway?
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of refer to it as God's will. I was personally having a bad day one day, and an hour and a half commute to see my sister. You just can't do that every day. And my husband came home from work, and I said, we need to sell this place and move closer to Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
And within 2 months, we were here.
Mm-hmm. Now, Lacie, you have a off the operation job, correct?
Correct. I work for livestock, or the Ytex ear tag market, Ytex Corporation based out of Cody.
Okay.
And I'm the key account manager for farm and ranch stores.
Okay.
And my husband owns his own business, Styles Hoof Care. So he is a hoof trimmer on beef cattle, dairy cattle. And we refer to Lynn as the herd boss around here because she is the only one that gets to stay on the farm full time. Everybody else works off the farm as well.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure with you being twin sisters, you guys always agree on what should happen around there, right?
I just agree. Yes, yep, that sounds
Oh,
good.
she'll say that now. But no, I do get to stay here on the farm full time with my father-in-law, Dave Corns.
Mm-hmm.
He and I are here working the cows full time. And my husband, Chris, is a stonemason off of the farm.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys have a large operation? What's that operation kind of consist of?
We run 200 head of mama cows.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of split those cows and base like half the herd strictly for commercial to move on into feedlots.
Mm-hmm.
We don't fatten anything out. We just ship them off in the fall. And then the other half, we do AI and embryo work with those to focus on the clubbies. And then we will work a donor or two every once in a while for a maternal mating.
Mm-hmm. Now, I guess what are you using for that commercial base?
Semi-Angus cows.
Okay.
Actually, our whole entire herd is pretty maternal based
Mm-hmm.
because they need to be universal. So if they don't spit out that club calf, we still have a marketable feeder calf.
Okay.
So yeah, we're a really maternal based herd.
Right, but then you've got to have some that you play with. You've got all those kids around there to show and to selling those. So you've got to have the showier side or the clubbier side as well.
Yes, we do have those as well.
Okay, what do you guys usually base those on?
We use a lot the AI bulls. Like this year, I bred a lot to When in Doubt, Get You Some, bulls like that. We still fall back on Monopoly quite a bit. We use Here I Am and shoot for the real steers on those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also look for the stouter boned, clubbier donor type females that you can almost work both ways for the maternal when you need it, but yet hope they can have a steer for you.
Mm-hmm. Lacie, tell us a little more. We've got two operations. We've got the K&K and the Weimer operation, and so now you and Lynn are trying to bring those together a bit more for the dual force. What's I guess a little more what's behind that, and where do you guys look to go in the future?
What's behind that is just trying to rebrand and show the people that are used to seeing K&K or used to seeing Weimer that now we're one entity. We've come together, and we through that can bring you better genetics, and we're working harder together.
Mm-hmm. And Lacie, where's more of your heart? Your heart more in the commercial or in the showy stuff?
I like the show. We like the showy stuff. I mean, most of the time at the end of the day, we can say, oh, well, the commercial stuff paid the bills, but
Right.
but it isn't near as fun as, loan the trailer and go watch the kids be successful.
Right. And Lynn, which of that side are you on a little more?
Well, sometimes I split the fence there. I enjoy the commercial end just as much. I mean, I can honestly say one of my favorite parts here on the farm is rolling out round bales to feed the cows. But my heart is in the show barn probably as far as I like to look at a good one. When I go out to a field of cows, you can name off all the pedigrees and blah, 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 but I still like just to look at a good one.
Yeah. So growing up, you guys showed like everything in 4-H, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So probably not any competitiveness there between the two of you, right?
Actually, a lot of people say that, but no, we like going back to the dual force thing. We did it together. I would say, ironically, Lynn had a lot more steer champions than I did, but at the end of the day, we did it together. And we always had, each had a steer in the barn, or each had a hog or a lamb, but we didn't take sides like, oh, you're only washing yours and I'm only washing mine. So the name on the champion at the end of the day was just a name, but we did it together and we did it as a family.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah, I wish we'd seen more of that today, actually.
Yes, that's where I was stunned. I was like, holy cow, you don't hear a lot more or a lot of that going on because they're competitive, whether they're twins or whether they're 4 or 5 years apart.
Yeah, and we try to practice that with our two kids. Lynn's little girl, Bailey, is 11, and my son, Kip, is 7, and we try to teach them. They're way more competitive to each other than Lynn and I were, but well, yeah, it's Bailey's steer, but you convince it today. It doesn't matter. Like we're in this together.
Now, were one of you more competitive in like the sheep and the hogs or anything like that?
Lacie was with sheep, and I raised and sold some club sheep for a number of years. So yeah, Lynn really wasn't into the sheep. She struggled helping me get them ready for sales and things like that, but she still did it. Okay.
Well, that's good. Yeah, you two work together, even though maybe that might not be what the other one's into.
Right.
So
'cause you always need them for something later on. So.
Right. Yeah, and Lynn, if you go to your Facebook page and look at things, your daughter during all of this COVID happenings, I guess we'll call it before we get too into this thing, but all the COVID things, she kind of picked up something new, didn't she?
She did. She went from spending, I mean, she's always shown cattle. She's shown cattle since she was 2, I'd say. But then she found gymnastics, and she was on a competitive gymnastics team. And she was spending upwards of over 12 hours a week in the gym after school. And
Wow.
COVID struck, and the gym shut down, and they were closed from March until July. And for a small child, she realized, man, there's a lot I can do with 12 hours. So she said that she wanted to find some other things to get into, and actually from the time that Lacie moved back here close to me, she promised that we'd get some horses here. So we got horses, but we just didn't get horses to trail ride. She is barrel racing now. My daughter Bailey is barrel racing, and she's actually winning the buckle series that she started in, and she's only been riding since March. So
wow.
She gave up gymnastics and goes fast on horses now.
Right. Now, Lacie, it sounds like that was some of your influence. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm not sure Lynn's so happy about that influence, but I told Bailey, part of, she calls me Aunt Ace, part of Aunt Ace moving close we'll get a horse, and that was 3 years ago, and she's never let me live that down. So I usually, with my job with YTEX, I usually was typically out of town, living out of a suitcase 10 10 days a month, and I haven't traveled for a while due to COVID. So I said, well, there's no better time than the present. And we got a couple of horses, and it just kind of started out riding barrels in the pasture field, and now we're somewhere almost every weekend riding.
That's great. My daughter's 14, and she thinks she's going to get Brandy convinced, or to get me convinced into getting her one of those things running around here, and it's a hard battle to fight that off.
It is. It's a very hard battle to fight off. The end of the story is it's just one more thing to keep them at home, and
Right.
and I always say if we can keep them in the barn, if we can keep these kids in the barn, we know where they're at.
Right. You're exactly right. You guys have some history with some cattle that have done well, and had your name on some, and had your hands on some bulls and things that have really done well. So, if you would, you want to start? We can talk about some bulls here that you guys have had your hands on, and some of that past success that you guys have had.
Sure. We've had some great success stories from years ago, and then just up until a couple of years back, we've had lots of success. We've purchased some great donor cows over the years. Some of the success stories we've had, and these even started before my husband and I got together. It was his dad and himself raising the cattle then. It's a fifth generation farm here. So we have had, in 2005, we raised the Angus Junior National Champion steer. And then just recently we had another Junior National Champion. In 2018, we raised a Sem Solution steer that ended up in the hands of the Harker family, a great family. That's a success story you'd like to write, and you wish they could all get into the hands like those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And that steer ended up winning Junior Nationals, Eastern Regionals, the Indiana State Fair,
Mm-hmm.
and then that follows in to our sale quite easily. That steer, we ended up keeping a full brother as a herd bull,
Mm-hmm.
and several of these heifers are sired by him. And his donor, we purchased in Denver in 2008 in the Simmental Mile High sale. And she is a dream on that we purchased from Grass Looning. And we actually partnered with Wheeler Show Cattle on her. She sold for $39,000 in that sale.
Mm-hmm.
So we've kept a lot of heifers and bulls out of that mating and her progeny.
Mm-hmm.
And then another donor that has written success stories for us is Hare's Miss America. We partnered with Hare's on her in 2013. We were in the yards at Denver and talking to Mark and Jeff, and we were saying we were thinking about getting into this one of the sales there and buying a donor, and he said, "Oh, you don't want to do that. Why don't you just partner up with us on Miss America?" So that was really a great opportunity for us. The Hares have been amazing to work with, and she's been a great steer mama for us, and maternally done tremendous things for us.
Mm-hmm.
Then why don't you just tell them what we think of the Miss America calves as soon as they hit the ground, and how well that's worked out for us.
Yes, good point, Lacie. The Miss America calves are crazy at birth. I mean, they hit the ground running. We've never had to worry about those calves, and it has to be the background and genetics on her. I mean, from birth, they just get up, they get to the tit, they just get moving. So I would say with this set of heifers we're selling,
Mm-hmm.
that will carry on down through them.
Mm-hmm.
So that is an amazing trait to have. And she has put that into our herd immensely, because we have kept so many daughters. We have such a foundation of her females in our herd now.
Right. Quite a few bred into this that we'll talk
Yes.
about when we get down into those lots. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, you guys had a display bull in Denver, is that right?
We did. We sold a bull to Troush Farms.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually, we were displaying him in the yards in 2013 when we ended up purchasing Miss America.
Mm-hmm.
His name ended up being Holy Water
Mm-hmm.
with Troush Farms. I don't know if you can still find him anywhere on their website or not. And he was displayed there. And then we also brought him back to our farm for several years and used him as a cleanup bull.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an experience getting to have him in the yards.
Right.
And yeah, and then that's exactly how, it's amazing how you link things together. That's exactly how we got talking to hares that year.
Mm-hmm.
And got that donor bot.
Small world, and things work out crazy, don't they?
Yes,
Like-
absolutely.
Like buying 150 acres next to your sister.
Exactly.
Right. Crazy how those things work out. So, any other success stories or things that you want to talk about? Before we have a few more donors that we need to hit on, don't you?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about a couple of upcoming Angus donors that we're really looking forward to start flushing this spring.
Okay.
So last fall, we were all gung-ho. Angus Junior Nationals was going to be held in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
So we splurged and bought some Angus heifers.
Mm-hmm.
And we showed them throughout the jackpot season. They both did very well. And then Angus Junior Nationals wasn't held in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Right.
Because of COVID.
Right.
It ended up being moved to Tulsa.
Uh-huh.
So we didn't make the trip. But we ended up with 2 great Angus females out of it. We purchased a Primo daughter from Grayman's
Mm-hmm.
in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
She was reserve at one show we went to and 3rd overall at another.
Mm-hmm.
She is powerful, and she is actually going to calve the very 1st of January. So we're anxious to see what she produces.
Mm-hmm.
And then we purchased a Paradox female off of hares.
Mm-hmm.
Out of one of their Cherry Knoll Erica daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure if anyone flips through, hares are having a dispersal, and their catalog is on SC as well. If you flip through there, you'll see tons of Cherry Knoll Erica and hares Miss America genetics.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So yeah, we were lucky to work with them again before they decided they were going to disperse. And we're excited about those 2 females. I think they're females that we can work both ways to kick out a steer, or also go back Angus with them and have some pretty powerful Angus progeny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got that. I've got their catalog right here in my hand as
Mm-hmm.
we talk about those. And yeah, I didn't realize you'd bought a heifer from Gryman's. Good friends of mine. Ted and Mary
Yes.
Gryman out in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
And funny story for you guys that we haven't talked about yet. I didn't realize you guys had planned on going to the Angus Junior Nationals there in Pennsylvania. We were planning on coming out to the Angus Junior Nationals in Pennsylvania, and then they moved it, of course, to they moved it out there to Tulsa, and we looked on the map as to, okay, this has changed so many things for so many people and so many more miles and hours and things. It actually changed our route 5 minutes.
Wow.
So I did. That was, I thought that's kind of a funny, one of the funny deals about ours and in the Pennsylvania Angus Junior Nationals changing. So you guys would have added I don't know how many hours to you guys.
Oh, we are only 2 hours and 15 minutes from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
It added a couple of days to our journey.
Right, yeah. It added 5 minutes to ours, so I just was gonna harass you about that a little bit. That you guys didn't end up going out then, correct?
No,
Correct. We didn't.
didn't.
Okay. All right. Any other donors that we need to talk about before we get into these sale heifers?
We have a donor that we call Debbie. She doesn't have any of the sale heifers.
Mm-hmm.
She's more of our backbone to the clubbies right now.
Mm-hmm.
We purchased her in 2016
Mm-hmm.
at Denver out of Duella's sale.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes back to she's kind of like a double bred Irish whiskey.
Okay.
So she's super clubby.
Mm-hmm.
I actually let my daughter keep one of our best steers this year for her to show,
Mm-hmm.
and he's out of her and Fu Manchu.
Mm-hmm.
So we're anxious to see how she gets along with him this year, and she's already raised us many county fair champions.
Mm-hmm. Great.
So we work her hard for the clubby end of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds good.
That's a little funny story too about, the joining of, two families bringing this dual force together. The cow's name, she was just a numbered cow. She didn't have a name. But we're standing in the yards of Denver and we're like, okay, we need, we want to buy this cow. We need X amount of dollars. We need Dad's help.
Yes.
Both dads,
yes.
my father-in-law and our dad.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we need Dad's help. And so I call home to Lynn and I's father, Bill, and I get my mom on the phone. And I'm like, okay, well, we need, X amount of dollars from Dad. And I said, we bought a cow, we need money. And you would think her initial response would be, how much? And all she wanted to know was the cow's name. And my mom's name is Debbie.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So I said, well, her name's Little Debbie. And she said, okay, I'll get you the money.
Oh, wow.
So that's how she got her name.
I think everybody in America that buys cows wants your mom right now. Wants her to
That's right.
be their mom.
Well, the sad thing is, I think she believed me up until about a year ago when we were talking about the cow.
Uh-huh.
So
That is a story like I've never heard, I don't think. That's really good. Yeah. And you guys, speaking of the clubbies, you guys do have a club calf sale in the fall, correct?
Yes, we annually have a club calf sale online. This year we just sold them private treaty, but we plan on being back on show circuit next fall. We usually plan like the last week in September.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all halter broke and ready to go. And we didn't go that route this year because when you breed those cows for clubbies and you get slammed with heifers, it's not always the greatest thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't have as many steer prospects to offer.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully this spring brings more bull calves to the ground and we can get back on track with the online sale in the fall.
Mm-hmm. And then you have a bull sale in the Go ahead.
we generally offer 12 to 15 steers in the fall.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then a bull sale in the spring, correct?
Yes, this year, we had one of those years. We usually just keep kind of a handful of bulls and sell those. And this year, like I said, we got slammed with heifers on the clubby end of things, the way we bred them, and then everything that I bred, we worked maternally. We got bulls.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a tremendous set. I think we have 11 bulls on feed right now to get those out. And most of those there'll be there's a couple of purebred Simmentals, there's some 3/4, and then there's some commercial guys in there.
Okay. Good. Do you know a date on that one yet?
No, we didn't select a date. I'm guessing maybe the second week in March.
Okay.
Somewhere's in there.
We'll have to schedule another podcast then, won't we?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's great. Yeah. And you've got 9 females in this sale, bred females.
Yes.
And are you ready to go down through those females then
Yeah.
and tell
Yeah.
everybody about them?
Sure.
Okay, you go right ahead there. We got lot with lot 1.
Okay, lot 1, I go by farm tags too, and that tag will remain in their ear for the sale. So lot 1 is ear tag and brand. Our cattle are branded, so she's branded 940, and she was actually out of a first calf heifer, and so she's just out of our calving ease herd bull here, purebred Angus. He's a calving ease direct. And then maternally, she goes back to a Prophet Miss America heifer.
Mm-hmm.
So she, I guess I chose her for lot 1 because she's a breeding piece. She is ultra feminine, but carries a ton of mass and volume.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she's a super universal female. And she should be calving ease on top of calving ease.
Mm-hmm. Now, who's she bred to?
She is bred to Comfort Zone.
Okay.
And then she is safe in calf. They're all safe in calf.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few that are pasture exposed. So the vet, when he preg checked, couldn't decide if they were pasture exposed or AI'd. I'm leaning towards the AI because we watched this group of heifers pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
Lot 2 is ear tag 916, and she goes back on the sire side to First Rate. He is a first rate son that we raised out of our scarlet donor cow. So super genetics there. And then on the bottom side, this heifer goes back to Miss America. She's a Prophet out of Miss America. So that heifer there is loaded with genetics. She's got donors on both sides.
Okay.
And she is super sexy. I want to explain her as super up-headed, but she has a brain too. She's not one of those up-headed ones that doesn't have any brains.
Right. The picture you sent me of her, she is up-headed and seems pretty proud.
Yes, she is. Then lot 3 is farm tag 922. And again, this one goes back to that first rate son out of that scarlet donor cow. And then on the mother's side, she is out of a Monopoly Miss America.
Mm-hmm.
So that one's got powerhouse genetics on both sides. She's probably the bigger framed heifer in the group, but great bone structure and lines. Her lines are super cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then lot 4 and lot 5 are both, they're 914 and 915, or I mean 95, not 915. And they are both sired by Daddy's Money. And then they are both Prophet Miss America on the other side. They're not full sibs, two different mothers, but both of those were ET sibs.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the same DNA floating around through there too.
Mm-hmm.
Not
And
identical twins, but almost.
No, yeah.
Right.
And they are both stouter boned, bigger structured females. They ought to make some stout ones, those two.
Mm-hmm.
And calving ease should be there. 914, which is lot 4, she is bred to Brilliance, the purebred Angus bull.
Mm-hmm.
And then 95, she has gotten pasture exposed. She was bred to the bull we had them in with, which was a bull we purchased from Whitestone Angus here in Virginia. He is a turning point.
Mm-hmm.
We have had calves out of him before, calved them out no problem, small babies, so he should work great on those. He's a stouter made kind of Angus. He should on a cow like that should throw some bone and structure that you would hope for in a female that's been out of like a Daddy's Money that's more calving ease.
Mm-hmm. And the turning points are a hot commodity in the Angus deal as well. So
Yes, and we are still using him. We turned him out with after he was in with these 9 heifers, we turned him right out in with our group of cows we use to make clubby babies.
Yeah, and this 914, she's fancy. You sent me that picture.
She is. She's stout boned. We call her Mother. We actually called Ellen. She was in our show barn for a while. My niece showed her and always did good with her anywhere we took her. And they are out of first calf. 90, lot 4 and 5 are both out of first calf heifers.
Wow. They've done well.
Yes.
Lot 6, you go back to one that's out of your bull.
Yes. Lot 6 is 99. And we raised a bull that we call Yeti. And he is a full brother to the Sim Solution steer that Harker's had that did all the winning for us. Harker's steer was red, and this guy is black. So we held on to him to use as a herd bull. He has done super things for us. We love the females he's producing. And then he will kick out steers that go into our sale as well. So 99 is out of him, and then just like a semi-Angus commercial cow. She is pasture exposed to the turning point as well. She did not take AI, so she's bred to turning point.
Okay.
And we bred these heifers early, so they will calve from like mid-January to mid-March.
Okay.
And I think there is, I'll get down to one, there is one later bred one. So then lot 7, which is tag 91, she is sired by that same bull, Yeti, and then just another semi-Angus cow. So they're real clubby as far as who they're sired by, but yet then they are out of just some solid semi-Angus cows. We actually calved our first Yeti daughter this spring, and we were beyond pleased with how she did. We kept that heifer to keep in the replacement pen for this coming year.
Great. Always nice when you can keep the stuff that you've bred by the sires that you bred.
My father-in-law has always been hardcore about keeping a solid set of replacement heifers each year. So we keep normally 20 to 25 replacement heifers a year. And when I told him I wanted to have a bred heifer sale, he kind of cringed.
I think he's still cringing.
He is still cringing. When he listens to this, he might chuckle. But yes, he is still cringing because it just devastates him to sell bred heifers. And especially a group like these girls, because he just thinks we should be putting those back in our herd. And I don't disagree with that, but we all need to grow, right?
Right. And you didn't have the club calf sale, so need to do a little bit of something, right?
Yep. Right. Search out different avenues.
There you go.
So then lot 8 and lot 9, which are 97 and 98, those are both Here I Am's, and they are direct daughters of Miss America. So these girls are the clubbier 2 girls in the sale for sure. They're the hairiest, probably the stoutest boned. They are the 2 you would want to take home if you want to make clubby babies for sure.
And who do you have them bred to?
One of them is bred to Lacie Solution, as number 98 is bred to lot 8, and lot 9 is pasture exposed to the Turning Point bull.
Okay, I just want to make sure we got our numbers correct. Lot 8 is the 97 that's bred to the Lacie Solution.
Yes.
Okay, and the lot 9, the 98, is bred to who again?
Turning Point. Okay. She got bred to the bull.
Okay. Yeah. What about and they are, again, the sale is on SC Online Sales, and it is December 7th. What about things like pickup, delivery, those things on these females?
Yes, we will make any arrangements we possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
We will help you find trucking if need be. Pick up whenever you want here at the farm.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I would recommend that you get them moved shortly after the sale because some of them will be fairly close to calving.
Mm-hmm. And you say most all of them are calving between January and March.
Yes.
Okay, good. And you'll have more information on that on the SC online sales site of you guys, so they can go find those on there. Also see all those females, and or if they're listening to this and they want to see these females and see you talk about them as they're there, why they can watch the podcast video.
Yes, and I mean, anyone is welcome if they get a chance between now and the sale to stop by the farm and check them out too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so they're all right there at the farm.
Yes, yep, they're all right here.
Great. Well, that's really good, and yeah, look forward to seeing how this sale pulls off. And so, are you both gonna help the same amount? You're gonna pull Lacie off of work there for a few days to help get the pictures and those kind of things done?
I think she's making me work on Sunday.
Okay.
I am the guy. Our husbands will get them clipped and prepped, and I do the pictures and the videos. So someone's got to be the ear getter.
Mm-hmm. always need a good ear getter, don't you?
For sure.
I told you, she just works me like a dog, and I get to enjoy some of the successes.
There you go. Well, Lacie, what's your favorite apparatus to get those ears up?
Well, we have a pom-pom. We have the coyote collar.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes she just plain makes me get down on the ground and bark like a dog.
So she really does work you like a dog, then.
Yes. Yes.
Well, that's great. That is really great. Man, ladies, I've had so much fun getting this thing put together and hearing about your successes and some of the things that you guys have done, and just really wish you luck in the future of getting this dual force thing really going and getting these young people, your young people for one, some successes, and also other young people getting them successes, and I enjoy hearing about that very much, and enjoy hearing about the 9 females that you guys have for sale December 7th on SC Online.
Yeah, thanks for taking time with us.
Well, yeah, we appreciate it very much. Appreciate you responding to Brandy and getting things put together.
Well, we look forward to working with you more in the future.
Well, that sounds great. I want to invite everybody to SC Online Sales, December 7th, the Dual Force Bred Heifer Sale, and I want to wish you ladies luck on that. And we want to thank you guys for listening to another edition of Before the Bid podcast. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Before the Bid. For more information and to learn more about upcoming podcasts and sales, visit us at beforethebid.podbean.com or Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram pages. For information on being a guest on Before the Bid, please email us at beforethebid@gmail.com or one of our social media pages. Remember, that's beforethebid@gmail.com. Happy sales to you, and we will talk to you next time on Before the Bid.